another edition of SNC's WWE Talk. I'm the squeeze because of my rotund figure, and he's the cheese because he's got bad fashion sense. Now, we're here today to talk about wrestling talk, and it was a pretty eventful week. The start of the King of the Queen of the Ring tournament, which concludes in 2 weeks. I think it's Jeddah or Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and the King of the Ring tournament was pretty good. We got some of the favorites. I mean, obviously the favorites are going to win, and the Queen of the Ring as well. So I saw Raw, I saw NXT, and I saw SmackDown this week. What did you watch this week, Cheese?
This week's I watched Raw and I watched. Oh no, wait, Friday. No, I saw SmackDown.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
watched all
yeah,
three shows this week. Okay,
yeah,
great.
yeah. I
So
think I did.
so on Raw, Raw was pretty good. I thought it was actually a pretty good show. It was a better show than we've had in a long time, and I really enjoyed it. Now, I don't quite remember. I think it was Gunther and that was last week's Gunther versus Sheamus, right? Because this week Gunther, or was it Gunther versus Sheamus in the main event?
It was the this week. It was the all. It was all King of the Ring this week, right?
Yeah, but I think Gunther and Sheamus were in the main event, right?
Yeah, I think so. And Gunther went over again.
Yeah, he. I think we talked about it really briefly. Oh, we talked
Oh
about it when we were making WrestleMania plans. Yeah, he submitted Sheamus, which
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
amazing because
yeah, yeah.
Sheamus is a tough dude, and he's always had that reputation of being one of the toughest seasons in WWE. So yeah, he submitted Sheamus. That's amazing. I thought Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed was good, and I liked how Bronson Reed went over Chad Gable. I mean, I didn't like the fact that Chad Gable was eliminated, but I like the fact that he went over Chad Gable. Um, I
So who do you think's gonna win? Because the like who do you think's gonna win King of the Ring? And do you think that when they did on SmackDown this week, they had in what like one of the opening matches for King of the Ring was Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. Now, ever since AJ
no,
Styles,
no, bro, that was the main event.
yeah, but that was the King of the Ring. That was like
Yeah,
one of the
yeah,
first
that
round
was in the
matches.
seminal matches. Yeah,
Um, so do you think they made that matchup too early? Because now, like AJ, ever since AJ Styles came back, I mean, he's jacked. He's bigger than ever. He's been taking those vitamins, just like Hulk Hogan did. Amazing. He's in phenomenal shape. But has he won a match since he came back? I mean, he's
he
just been
beat
getting
LA
jobbed.
Knight. He beat LA Knight, and LA Knight's a big star now. So he beat LA Knight to get the title shot at Randy Orton. And I think that was they just jumped the gun on that match because how could you put two former multiple world champions in a King of the Ring qualifier at the same time? I think they did it for star power because let's face it, WWE is lacking in top tier star power right now. So yeah, I think they did it because of that. And yeah, so I think they had to do that and put it in the main event. And I'm glad Randy Orton went over because I'm thinking this, bro, and bear with me on this. I think it's going to be Gunther versus Randy Orton for King of the Ring. And if they're smart, they're going to put Gunther over.
Yeah.
And I think Gunther's still catching off the fans, but he's got enough hardcore fans that they could put him over. So once he goes over Randy Orton, he's established as a top tier talent by then. And then he just goes over a few other guys, and then he starts contending for world title. And maybe he goes up against Priest, maybe goes up against Drew McIntyre, maybe goes up against Seth Rollins. He handles him easily and becomes world champion. And he's going to be a dominant world champion for a while. It's going to be a heel world champion that people don't like, and they're going to be just happy for somebody to take him off his perch one day, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think so too. I think Gunther's going to win the King of the Ring.
and
I agree with that.
Gunther is a throwback to a lot of wrestlers from a long time ago, but I think he's making wrestling cool again. I think he's making actual mat based wrestling cool again because people like him. You know, he's got that just that swag. that wrestling swag. And he's not a sports entertainer. He's not an acrobat. He's not a luchador. He's a cool mat-based wrestler. People dig him, you know. So I
Yeah.
think he's going to be great as world
Yeah,
champion.
yeah, 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 I agree. I definitely agree.
Now, as
Hey,
far as Queen of the Ring goes, who do you think is going to go over?
geez, I don't know. Like I like I like Io Sky, but she
Yeah.
just she like doesn't seem like she's really elevated. In NXT, she was awesome, and I think she carried the NXT title really well. But it just seemed like she didn't carry. And I was super excited when she won the Money in the Bank, and I was excited when she cashed in. Um, but it just didn't seem like her title reign was very. Like her title reign didn't excite me a whole lot. So I like her, but I don't know if I'd want her to go. I'm hoping I'm hoping for because both Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are in it, and they both won their matches. So, I think they're going to put them face to face down the line, and I hope that Bianca Belair turns heel and just smashes Jade Cargill and wins by nefarious actions. They break up their tag team and that Bianca Belair is a heel because I don't think she's been a heel yet, and I think her as a heel, winning Queen of the Ring, I think that'd be pretty cool.
That sounds interesting, but this is my booking. This is my way of looking at it. I think you're right. That it's going to be Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill, and they're going to have like a competitive athletic match. They're not going to do any cheating or anything. And I think Jade Cargill's going to go over. And I don't know if you saw you did see the match between Nia Jax and Jade Cargill. She has improved. I thought at first she was just a lumbering, just powerhouse, but she has improved. She's showing some wrestling skills. So if she just puts the work in, she's gonna put in some good matches. She's gonna be a phenomenal champion. So I think they're gonna put her over as Queen of the Ring, and then by SummerSlam or Survivor Series, she's gonna be Women's Champion. So I mean, she's getting she's being pushed to the moon, skyrocket all the way, and I mean, she's the one. I think she's gonna win. So I think the breakout stars this year are Gunther and Jade Cargo. That's my think about it. That's what I'm thinking. So that's what I think. What about you? So your pick,
I
your pick is Gunther and Bianca Belair.
Well, I like Bianca Belair is kind of like my if I was writing it, that's what what how I would do it. I'd turn her bad
Okay.
guy, yeah, and then I'd turn and then I'd have her husband turn to a bad guy too, and have him attack his tag team partner.
Oh,
Yeah,
speaking,
yeah.
thanks for bringing that up. That was a point I was going to make this week. I want to ask you about. What do you think of the new recruits to the Bloodline? Tongaloa hasn't wrestled yet, but I thought Tama Tonga, man, I was impressed by his short match with Angelo Dawkins in the qualifying match for the King of the Ring. The dude has ring presence, he uses ring psychology. He's aggressive. He's powerful. The guy is just a star. I mean, if he could be, he could easily be a breakout star for the Bloodline. I think he's got titles down the road, and I mean, I think he's infinitely better than Solo Sikoa. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
he's right up there as far as just any top tier talent. I was really impressed. I think he's better than Jey Uso, and Jey
yeah.
Uso's not that good, but I think he's really good wrestler. What did you think?
Yeah, yeah, no, like wrestling wise, I really haven't seen him that much, so I don't, I can't really say if he's better in the ring, but just like ring presence, just kind of like the aura that he has around him,
Hmm.
like his facial expressions, just how he
Yeah,
moves his
yeah,
body, kind of how
yeah, yeah,
his stature
yeah,
makes him
yeah.
look, makes it look legit. Like I think he has a better presence than Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, when you see
So
that guy walking down the ring and you see just his face, you're like, dude, this guy's a badass. He's
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
legit badass. So, and
yeah,
then when
yeah,
he gets
yeah,
in the ring, he backs it up. So you're like, yeah, don't mess with that guy, man. So, I wouldn't want to meet that guy in a dark alley. I'd try to give him money or something, man. So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, definitely. But again, with I'm not a huge Solo Sikoa fan. Having him lead that team, having him lead that stable, it's kind of He's probably the weakest link.
He
You
is the
know, all he
weakest link in that stable right now. He is
and
definitely. You
his
know,
they're giving him more time on the microphone, and he's just he's not good. He's not good on the microphone. He's probably as bad as Dominic Mysterio was. The
the
first
thing,
year that,
the
that
only thing
Dom
I
was
see about. Oh, sorry, bro, I interrupted you. I'm so sorry.
no no
The only thing I
you,
see about him that's good is his backstage promos with Paul Heyman. Yeah, I think he seems relaxed. I think he seems menacing. I think he seems frightening. But besides in the ring with his ring work and his promo skills, I don't think he's very good. I think the bloodline overall is not very good except for Roman Reigns. So I mean, I don't know, man. I think Jey Uso's popular. I think he hustles in the ring. He's very athletic, but I mean, overall, like Jimmy's just a used can of tomato, man. He's a tomato can. The guy just can't do crap. I don't even know why he has a job. I don't even think he's been wrestling. He hasn't been in the ring for a while. So I mean, I don't know, man. Jimmy's just useless, basically. I think but yeah, the bloodline is kind of weak right now. But when Roman Reigns comes back, they're gonna try and freshen it up and stuff. Now, as far as the tag team titles go, let's just talk about the tag team titles just for a minute. Um, so it's our Truth and Miz is the Raw tag team titles, and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller the SmackDown titles. So that's an afterthought right now. They haven't even been
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
this, have they?
Yeah, no, no,
It's
like
in the focus of singles, right? So and nothing else been going on. So basically, the women's title's been what's being pushed because we got strong women's champions. We got Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Okay, well that's something. NXT. Let's move on to NXT. Did you see the segment this week between Trick William and Noam Dar? I guess Noam Dar can be Trick Williams'
yeah,
first competitor. And I don't know if you saw this, but it looks like Trick Williams and Lash Legend have something going on. I think
yeah,
there's something going on behind the scenes because Trick
yeah,
Williams, man, he was just swagging on her, man, and she was like loving it or loving every second of it. And then she goes to leave the ring. Dude puts his hand on her stomach, like, man, this is my chick. So I think there's something going on, man.
yeah.
You can
It's
always tell when someone likes each other and there's something going on.
yeah,
So but
man.
I mean, I think they're gonna
Yeah,
put them together sooner rather than later. So
yeah,
yeah.
bro. She called him babe,
Oh,
during the
okay.
segment. Um, yeah, and what
Okay.
kind of makes me laugh about NXT right now is it kind of reminds me of kind of like wrestling in the like in the 1980s. Where Lash comes out with an envelope and like, ooh, there's something in here, and it's like this is dumb, and then like the dawn of NXT, like he kidnaps people, and it's like what, like this is ridiculous, but
You
but
know,
but
it's like they're
but
riding like 80s style, man.
yeah,
They're going
and
back to the 80s.
yeah, and
And the
it's
gimmicks are
ridiculous,
better and the wrestling's
but
better.
it's
You got a
it's
little bit of
funny,
AWA thrown in, got a little bit of
yeah.
NWA with the Trick Williams last show. No, AWA reminds me of Precious and what's it,
Gorgeous
Precious?
Jimmy and
Yeah,
gorgeous
Precious
Jimmy
and
Garvin.
Jimmy Garvin, man. Yeah. So it's good
So
stuff, man.
yeah, so on one hand, when I watch it, I'm like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. But on the other hand, like it's nostalgic to me because it's like, oh shit, like this is like when I was a little kid, and they're just
Yeah,
doing like
dude,
some
Triple H, man, he's been a student of the game forever. Man, he's just been loving just he's just been putting out stuff for all of us, man. It's a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit of everything now.
And I'm warming up because I watched a little bit of when NXT was in the UK NXT and
Yeah,
Noam
yeah,
Dar and Noam Dar was there, and so I've seen him a little bit like kind of throughout the last couple of years, and I really never liked him, but now I'm warming up to him, to like his his style on the microphone and how he talks and how he's kind of like a slimy little heel.
yeah. I
Like
was
I
about to
dig
mention
that,
the word slimy. He's
like that
slimy,
like
and
that little niche
he's
he has. I
perfect as a
think
mouthpiece.
makes I think it makes him entertaining. Yeah, so I
He's
think they're
perfect as
funny.
the mouthpiece for those guys. That he's the most experienced. They're just a bunch of misfits, and They're they're slimy little heels, all four of
Yeah.
them, and he's
Yeah.
just the king of that. And yeah, it's great. And yeah, it was amazing. Now I gotta ask you a question, and I know you're really not big on this guy. This is a guy you hate. But what did you think? This is the trip. What do you think of Ivar's new look?
I think
Oh my god,
I
you
don't,
gotta laugh about
I
that.
don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That dude. Honest.
That was
It,
amazing. I didn't even
and
know who that was. I'm
and
like, man, but you remember I told you they should do like a biker gimmick for
yeah,
Ivar,
yeah,
and
yeah.
but so they didn't do a biker gimmick. They did like a country dude gimmick, you know. So he just looks like a big guy from the country. And I mean, dude, I don't know if it's gonna get him over, but they did something to get him over. I knew they were gonna do something to get him over because the dude has got skills. But they had to try something with him, and I don't know if
He's
this is
just,
gonna work. But they're probably gonna
uh,
do a different move set. They're doing this and that. I don't think this is gonna work either. But sooner or later, they're gonna get something that clicks, you know.
I
So
don't know, bro. I don't know because now they're gonna feed either because they're gonna
Josh
have him
Briggs.
yeah, Briggs, and Briggs, like that kid, like he's got a good look, he's big, he's strong, he's solid in the ring, he's getting better on the mic. Like I don't see how I don't, they can't. I don't know. For me, they can't put Ivar over Briggs. They have to, for me, they have to put Briggs over. But Ivar, he's just, like again, just it's like, him and Solo Sokoa and this just in Otis. It's like, man, you guys are just,
Too
they're
big.
just,
Too big.
yeah.
Yeah, they just can't do anything. So you think
In,
that the
in,
athletic guys are the ones that get all the attention now? The big guys just don't get the attention these days.
Yeah, yeah, and I know each one of those, dudes are, they have better cardio than I do, and they're quicker than I am, and they're strong. They can do, amazing. They're amazing athletes. I know that, but just when I look at them, just to be a sports entertainer, WWE, a lot of it is going to be, perception of the fans. And when I look at Ivar and his scruffy beard, in that in that just that his hair looks like dry hay. It's just like, man, come on, man, this is ridiculous. Um,
So you don't think really big guys like that, big rotund guys, kind of like me, that back in yesteryear they were over, but now you don't think that there's a place for them like that right now because it doesn't
well,
seem like there is because they're not very over right now. They're not getting over. None of those big guys are getting over. So I think that the guys who are getting over are the not even guys like as little as Chad Gable getting over is the guys who are decent size, they're in decent shape, they're athletic, and they're jacked. They're just like oh, here's Mr. Food. Mr. Food just walked by, man. Here, Mr. Food, come here. Come here, Mr. Food. And come here, Mr. Food. Yeah,
he wants
hey,
to say
I'm
hello.
gonna introduce the world to my cat. Hey, world, this is my cat, Mr. Food. He's a Maine Coon. He's a big wrestling fan too. He watches it with me. So anyway, yeah, Mr. Food, get ready for this is your national spotlight review. So this is Mr. Food. He's merchandise. He's licensed.
Merch-
You guys want
merchandise.
T-shirts? You want mugs? You want stickers? I'll get them printed up. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, so
The
anyway, bro.
I don't
Um,
know. I think for a big, like, kind of big guy like that, I met because I remember when I was a kid, King Kong Bundy. He's like he was kind of like just a big fat guy. But I
mhm.
remember, dude, that dude was bad. He was bad, man. You
Yeah.
know, maybe it's because I was a kid. I don't know, but I remember him being booked well and just him being just a monster. We'd just come out and splash people, and he'd cover them, and then 1, 2, 3, and he'd be like, no, 5, give him 5, 4, 5.
But
Like
that
that
was a
was
different time, and you remember by the time he went back to the WWF in mid-90s, he wasn't as over, and it was a different time. They were pushing different guys. So I mean, yeah, the big guys. I mean, Big Van Vader was huge in the mid-90s, but by the time late '90s rolled around, he wasn't very popular anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I mean, the closest thing to a guy that was popular by then that was doing stuff like that was Mick Foley, but he was hardcore because hardcore was the thing back then. Now hardcore is a niche audience. You don't see
yeah, yeah,
hardcore anymore. So I mean, wrestling is changing with the times, and I mean, right now it's the athletic guys who are natural, who are around 6 feet to 6'2". Like Randy Orton's still big. Sheamus is a big star. Gunther's getting to be a big star. Roman Reigns is a big star. Drew McIntyre, who's
true.
huge and jacked, is a big star. I mean, John Cena would still be a big star. LA Knight is a big star. AJ Styles, he's a big guy and he's trying to get over the big star. So I mean he's over, but he's not that tall, but he's a big star. Those are the guys who are stars, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah,
gotta have
yeah,
a certain height, certain look, certain build, and you're a big star. Like
yeah,
even I dare to say, Andrade, who's a Mexican wrestler, doesn't speak English very well. He's getting over, man, because he's
yeah.
got the build, he's got the musculature, he's got the look, and he's getting over. And he's gotten over it
Musculature.
slowly, So I mean,
Yeah,
but there's a certain look it was the look that Vince was trying to push in the mid 2000s. I mean, in the early 2000s, that couldn't get over that is over now. So,
yeah,
with the
yeah,
guys, they're all cookie cutter guys.
yeah,
That's getting over.
yeah. Now, I read an article, and when I say I read an article, it means I read the headline and about 4 sentences deep into the article before I went to something else. But it said that Montez Ford wants to have a match in MMA. Now, do you think that'd be cool? Like, would you be for that, or would you like? What's your feeling on that?
Man, dude, honestly, no homo here, man. No homo. So this isn't a gay thought.
And
Definitely
if
not.
you were, it's okay.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's okay now. It's okay to have those thoughts. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't want to
if you are,
alienate
it's
any of
okay.
our audience, but Montez Ford is way too pretty to fight in MMA. He's a pretty boy. He's way too pretty to fight in MMA. He can mess up his pretty face. So no, I don't think he should do it. But yeah, as far as skill goes, I don't know. I just don't know what his skills are. I heard the guy was like in the army or the Marines or something. So he's a legit badass. But I don't know if he could do it. He could do it. I'm sure. Other guys have done it, like Lashley. He's probably getting the bug from Lashley because Lashley's a
Yeah,
former
yeah, yeah.
MMA guy and Lashley was good, man. Lashley's probably the best transitioner from wrestling to MMA, to pure MMA. He was better than anybody. So Lashley's good. Lashley's a legit tough guy, man. Lashley, I don't know why they just don't book him to be a bigger star than he is, but Lashley, man, they could have made dollar signs off of that guy. But man,
Yeah,
yeah, so he probably got the bug from Lashley, but I don't know. I mean, he's married to Bianca Belair, and Bianca Belair, man, she's I mean, that power couple, they're a power couple, dude. Imagine their child who's gonna be like some athlete and some just serious,
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
competitor,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
He had to have, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so
Right. I think it would be cool. Like, I think it'd be cool to watch.
oh no, it'd be
To
cool to
see,
watch, especially
you
if
know,
it's Montez Ford,
yeah, to see
because
how he
Montez
does.
Ford, he's on his way up. I mean, I think they just kept him with Street Profits and Lashley way too long, but they got to break him off sooner or later, or his push is going to cool down. Because the guy, he's legit. He's a legit single star. We saw this years ago, but I'm talking years ago, 3 or 4 years ago when he started getting over. So I think that it's the time to break him off right now and have him do something like that and break him off as a single star. Now, world champion, as far as world champion goes, I remember something that Jim Cornette said. Okay, okay, great. So I heard that Jim Cornette said that Montez Ford didn't have the charisma back then to be a world champion, but I think if he develops it or gets over more, he'll be a world champion. Maybe a short time, but he'll be a world champion.
Yeah, yeah. I think so too. I like. I like Montez Ford. I think he's good.
Yeah.
All right,
Angelo
brother.
Dawkins is a good athlete, and he might have a career going on a little bit longer, maybe in NXT. Maybe they could just repackage him, but basically he's a D'Lo Brown, while Montez Ford is a Rock, so or not a
Yeah.
Rock, but
Yeah, no. With
you
with
know,
all the years, it's Mother's Day. So what through all the years that we've been watching WWE, there have been memorable segments that involved moms or moms to be. Remember they had like when Maria Kanellis was pregnant and she was always yelling at her boyfriend Mike Kanellis. Um,
I
for
didn't see
you,
that. But I wasn't watching back then.
for
I wasn't
you,
watching from 2003. I just watched. Sometimes I fell out of love with wrestling because right after like WrestleMania 2021, I stopped watching. It's like they were having stupid gimmicks like Kenzo Suzuki and Mordecai and Simon Dean, and I'm like, nah, this sucks. So
so for you, what do you think was the most memorable, entertaining kind of like mother angle in
Mother Angle.
WWE? Do you remember?
You're gonna hate me when I say this, man. You are gonna hate me when I say this. And I mean, I'm gonna sound so cheesy and cornball and just slimy, but I really enjoyed the Mark Henry hand segment with Mae Young. That,
That's that's the one I was thinking of.
that was great.
And when he was sexual chocolate, he
Yeah,
was,
it is. I mean, you gotta you gotta have a certain
uh,
sense of humor for WWE. You gotta be a certain kind of person to enjoy it. Like Paul Heyman made a quote the other day. He said, "I'm not in wrestling, and I don't write wrestling for the people who don't get it. I am in wrestling, and I write wrestling for the people who do. So we get wrestling, you know.
oh man,
So that's
that
how we
was
like it." And
that
I mean,
was
but
funny.
that was
That
hilarious.
was funny. And then
Yeah.
so yeah, that's my all-time like favorite like mom angle.
Yeah.
Followed by a close second. Do you remember Beaver cleavage?
Oh, I remember that. Of
Where
course I remember that, dude. It was short, but it was great. Yeah, that was something else, man.
Beaver
Yeah.
cleavage and his
That
mom.
guy was a big star in USWA. He was a huge star in the USWA. His name was
Oh,
Chaz in USWA, and I guess called him Beaver Cleveland WWE. But yeah, it
that was
didn't give it legs.
ridiculous.
I think people found it too cringy back then, so they didn't give it legs, man. But I mean,
I think it'd be
yeah,
too
it was
cringy to
something else.
dunk it anytime. Yeah. So yeah, those are my two favorite the top like mom moments or
Yeah.
angles in my. Well, all right, brother, we're getting on 30 minutes. I got a Mother's Day. I work in the restaurant industry. I got to get to work, brother. It's going to be a
Oh,
busy
I know.
day.
Yeah, we were going to go to one of your restaurants, one of the restaurants we'll go to. And when I heard that, I'm like, man, we should have gone to Andre. I mean, we should have gone to Cheese's restaurant, but we went to the one in Mountain View. So I'm sorry. Oh well, what I just give myself away. But well, we're in the Bay Area anyway. So anyway, well, Cheese, have a great Mother's Day. Have a great day in the restaurant industry, and see you, bro. Nice
All right,
talking to
brother.
you.
All right,
Okay,
brother.
bye.
Late.